Alright everyone, hello, I'm Swyte, welcome back to another video. Been a little bit, but motivation's been low and I've just been really lazy in playing other games aside from Terraria, such as this one right now. So, this is what we're going to be doing. There's going to be a little guide video. I'm going to be also doing probably actual gameplay videos of this game, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, in the near future. I assume Terraria videos will probably be coming back pretty soon as well, but I don't know, I just gotta kind of get back into the mindset of, not even mindset, but I just gotta get back into making videos, if you know what I mean. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get, well, the score that you need to complete these Mongol conquest missions on Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. And I'm not going to be showing you how to complete them all, but all of the missions for the Mongol conquest event are available right now. Some people I know I've probably completed them all. Some people have probably not completed any of them because they're just not interested. And I wasn't interested either, but then I was like, oh, you know what? There's free stuff. I get profile icons. I get some cool visual effects on my houses and stuff. So I ended up completing them all. So how to get more than 20 plus? Yes, let's get more than 20 points on Mongol Raiders. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to get more than 20,000 points on Mongol Raiders fairly easily. We're going to be taking a look at a recording that I have, or a replay is what it's called, but let me find the replay of this game, and, well, before I do that, actually, I'm going to show you guys what it is. So, it is a challenge scenario, and our objectives are to destroy the flagged enemy buildings to gain the enemy civilization's loot, build new units back at your city to reinforce your army. Time is limited, so be aggressive and compete for the top spot on the leaderboard. Those aren't really objectives. Those are like facts about the event. This is my high score. I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this, and I have no clue how any of these scores are even possible, to be honest. I have no clue. But okay, because in the way I'm going to be showing you guys, we do end up defeating all of the enemies while getting over 20,000 points. It's about 29,000 points, and that's right about where it is every time. I'll show you what I go through with this, just because some people might not understand how to do this, or they might have just given up after one or two tries, because I mean, I certainly had a lot of trouble actually defeating all of the enemies in this scenario, so I figured I would just make a little video going over how to do it in a fairly simple way. So in this scenario, our main objectives are to bring Swyte to his army. That's like the first objective, and then to defeat at least one enemy. So you win the campaign, or the scenario, if you defeat at least one enemy, which is pretty simple. And you get bonus points for defeating each enemy. You get 100 points for each year remaining, as you can see kind of over here in this faded out area right now. We have 263 years. It's probably 264, 265 starting out, I would think. But the more of these you have left, the more points you'll get. And I'm not really worried about these because I'm not trying, or I wasn't trying to defeat this as quickly as I could, but just in a consistent way that will allow you to beat the entire campaign. For the hints, just for general stuff, be aggressive. You have limited time. Your very limited time is right, as you'll see. And yeah, you receive more points for completing objectives quickly, being that the faster you finish everything, you'll get more points for the years you got left. To defeat enemies in the scenario, you only have to destroy monasteries, castles, town centers, main buildings that are shown on the map. And if you defeat an enemy, you capture their resources and buildings. This is how you get extra resources for making more troops. There are two paths to the Twos in Wonder, which is supposed to be the final objective. On each path lie different enemies with their own strengths and weaknesses. Make sure to use your own civilization strengths to defeat them. And Swyte's conquests are never finished. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's about trying again and stuff, and I don't really care about that. Anyhow, let's just get right into this. This is Swyte, and pretty much what I do right here is I'll just instantly, as soon as I click on him over here, I'll direct him with waypoints over to the army. Right here at the beginning, you'll see me group the melee cavalry units and the Mangadai all into one group along with Swyte, and the reason why I do that is because I wanted to be able to control them all together. I put them in a control group, and if you don't use control groups, you probably should for this scenario, in my opinion. It made it so much easier for me. But you use control 1 after selecting a bunch of units, and they'll put them in a control group, or control 1, 2, 3. I don't know if it goes all the way up to 9 or if there's a limit. I'm not positive, but that's how I do it. So yeah, and I move the monks and the onager off to the side because it's just too many units for me to do stuff with. I can't micromanage all these different types of units, and these ones kind of just slow me down. But I'm getting upgrades right now. As you can see right here, I'm getting elite Mangudai. I'm making more rams, which we'll need soon. Queuing the siege ram upgrade and queuing some trebuchets, which will also be important. And what I do right here is, first of all, I will put all the champions into the rams to make them a little bit faster, and then I'll have this control group come right up here forward to clear up all of these extra units, and the rams will make its way towards the castle. And then after clearing out all of the enemy units, I will just actually pull all these guys back, because if you leave them right here, then the castle will start trying to snipe the Mangudai. And after you clear all the units around the castle, generally no other units of the enemy, like these guys, they won't be aggroed against the rams. So you can just leave the rams attack, or the castle cannot attack them, and you just leave the rams to do most of the damage to the buildings. I sent a couple others over so that they could maybe help. And I continue just healing my units and making another castle, because extra Mangudai production is kind of important, and trebs take a while to train, all that stuff. I also don't think, I'm not sure if I grabbed Bracer already, but yeah, blacksmith stuff. And let's let the Mangudai talk. Yeah, they're just urging us to be speedy. And at all of the stables, you get 5, including the 3 after you capture the first enemy. And I'll just queue up a lot of camels and cavaliers, as you see up here. And that makes up the bulk of my melee army throughout the rest of the scenario. I also have Bracer researching, as you see. That's one of the more important ones, since the Mangudai are kind of all the damage that is going to be done to the enemy. They're going to do the majority of it. So you kind of just want to make a lot of Mangudai after you make some trebs, which I always make first. And then, yeah, just keep those researching when you can, because that's where most of your damage is going to come from. And I'm just going to leave these camels and cavaliers alone right now, I believe. And I'm going to attack. Also, the hussars have huge line of sight, so they'll kind of just go and attack random stuff. So that might be problematic. Distracting all these units and just bringing them over here is pretty nice, because you don't got to deal with them when you go to actually break into this enemy's base. And this one is these are the Tatars. So I have rams. I have 6. That's usually the number that I take. And I'll break through this gate that's up here. And I'll have the trebs also attack this tower. Let these guys continue training. Well, I can't now because I don't have any gold. But yeah, you just train everything that you can and then move forwards. You don't have to be like you don't have to be super aggressive. You can take a little bit of time between attacks to kind of orient yourself and, yeah, plan out your strat a little bit. Anyways, I move the rams to the side, and what I do with this little group of units right here is I will just dive them into the enemy base, and I'll take out all of the other units that are there. I don't want the rams to get all confused. Also, I didn't actually see these steppe lancers and cavalry archers over there, so almost lost a ram. Might end up losing one to some fire eventually because there's 9 HP left on it, but yeah, I just let them do whatever over here. I actually did target them onto the castle at this point while I sent my troops in to clean up the rest of the enemy. And this is all just with the starting troops and a few extra Mangudai, I believe. So yeah, it's pretty easy to just run through the yellow and then orange as well right afterwards. So yeah, then I pull my troops out so that they won't get killed by any of the arrow fire, and I leave the rams in here to take out the castle. And for the next enemy we're going to take out, also let me pull up the score, we're going to take out the Saracens, which is the pink, and this one could be problematic if you went at it face on, which is why I discovered this kind of cheesy strategy to use against it. Mostly because siege onagers and onagers can be really devastating on your numbers, and it can really screw you up if you're not careful with them. So I try to mostly avoid them in this scenario. And the only two civilizations that actually use them were Saracens and the Teutons. And they're problematic, but you can take care of them. It's just difficult because you don't have bombard cannons or anything like that. And you don't want to be losing large amounts of units since you are very limited on time. And I've expanded my melee options right here, or my melee group of units, I guess you could say. I also have put them in 2 control groups at this point. This one is control group 2, all the melee units, and control group 1 is the Mangudai. And I find it easier to separate them like this so that you're not just lugging around this huge group of units, and you can keep ranged and melee separated. Because it's weird to try and attack, or to like try and micromanage range units along with melee, so it's better to have them in 2 control groups is what I found. Anyways, I sniped that tower so that I can move closer and just attack the Saracen castle from beside these bushes with my trebs. And here I'm just going to have these 2 groups sitting here because a lot of enemy units will come and attack, as you see. They're going to come towards the trebs. And I'm just going to snipe them out with the Mangudai, kind of meat shield with the melee units so that my trebuchets don't take any enemy fire. And yeah, you just use the trebs in order to take out the castle, and then you retreat. And none of the other enemy units, like none of the siege onagers will come forwards and give you any trouble. You can just take them out with minimal losses. And then yeah, once they're defeated, all the enemies will just disappear and you'll get more resources. Here comes a couple of extra camels because the trebs will start automatically attacking this other tower if they're that close. But anyways, that's a moot point. So I'm still making units over here. I have another big old group of camels and cavaliers. I also have more rams. I have 7 over here. And we're putting them over here because I'm going to use these rams to actually run down to the Slavs and take them out of the game. And I'm also grouping my units up here and preparing to take down the Teutons. Because you don't actually have to go for them last or anything. You can just go for them in whichever order you want. But generally going both sides, or one side, and then going for the Teutons, and then kind of moving down the other side towards the rest of the enemies is kind of the easiest strat for me. I brought in the other group of cavalry, so we got a big old group of camels, cavaliers, some steppe lancers, and hussars mixed in there as well. And yeah, you can tell I just have tons of units pumping out, so you kind of just want to keep it going whenever you can, whenever you have resources. Just come back over here, queue up Mangudai, get your cavalry, whatever you're going to use, but this is just what I found to be effective. This is, of course, not the most optimal way to do this scenario, I'm sure. I'm sure there's way more optimized ways, as you can see by scores that are up on that leaderboard, but I'm not sure what they are. I'm just showing you guys what worked for me, and I beat this multiple times to get points for the other challenges, and to work on getting a way to beat it for this video. Anyhow, I lock this gate so that units can't come forward and the trebs won't open it for enemy units to come in, and then I'll set them up to take out the 3 towers, which the 2 can attack these 2 towers, and then one of them attacks this one, I believe. But anyhow, I have my huge group of cavalry and Mangudai waiting here. And none of the enemy are coming forward. I feel like sometimes they do when you attack the tower, and sometimes they don't. So it's a little bit iffy when it comes to that. It's a little weird, but anyhow, yeah, it's a little slow now. I'm just kind of working on taking out the towers. I don't like having these towers shooting at me while I'm trying to micro units around, since they do tend to do a bit of damage in castles especially. But you do kind of have to take that damage sometimes. And here I'm moving all my units around. I'm going to try and aggro the enemy and have the trebuchets come forwards and work on the castle. You really cannot engage the Teutonic Knights with cavalry because of their massive melee armor, which I'm sure most of you are aware of. Yeah, they take that fight very, very well, and your cavalry does not. And as you can see, I was a little bit not wary of this siege onager shot right here because I'd forgotten about it for a brief second. And yeah, You want to bring it up, and if you can't snipe it with anything else like your trebs, you want to just get your Mangudai in there after dodging a shot, and in between shots, just try and take it out. And you also notice I've stopped sending military. I'm kind of moving these guys back so they're not taking direct confrontations with the Teutonic Knights. Now just meat shielding and letting my Mangudai take out most of the Knights. And yeah, there we go. The castle's down, and then yeah, we're kind of getting close on time here, so I'm probably going to move these guys down towards the enemy. All the other units that I've made at this point are also just going to go down there, because you can't just send rams. You might be able to. I'm not sure if it works every time, though. But yeah, I got another troop of them, and I haven't been making any more just because I've been focusing on trying to end the game with what I have, since I know that it is enough. So while those are going down, I'm having my trebs move up and just target the Wonder. That is the main building for the Teutons. So all you gotta do is take that out, and they will be defeated. Down here, you can kind of just run your rams past a lot of the enemy units. They will kind of just fall behind the rams or go after your other units. Although you do want to try and move these guys forward. As you can see, a lot of the enemy units just run past you. And the rams can just target the enemy monastery up here and take that out pretty quickly. Also, the Wonder was destroyed up there. Just had to meat shield a little bit and target them with the trebs, and that was taken down pretty easily. And down here was taken down pretty easily as well. You can also take out this enemy in multiple ways. The best way that I found to do it, also running really low on time. As you can see, like, you really don't have much time to do this. I'm sure you can do it quicker again, but I don't have the micro to be constantly producing units and directing all of mine at the same time under this time limit. It's way too stressful. These units, I think I'm just going to sit here. I might just move them forward for like a little bit of a distraction, but they don't really do much unless you have a lot of them. One time I had like 12 siege rams, and I just kind of ran them into the enemy base with some cavalry, and they did actually manage to take down this town center, but there's tons of paladins and Magyars, and that's kind of problematic to do. Unless you've tested the strat more, which I've not. So yeah. But anyhow, I just kind of position all my trebs over here. You can kind of just start attacking this without them knowing. And you want to just kind of meat shield with your cavalry while your Mangudai fire at them and let your trebs take on the town center. And that will be all the enemies defeated. And there's like going to be 4 years left. 4 years left at the very end of that. It's really tight the way that I did it, but it did work consistently. I had an end where I had 3 years left. I had one where I had 2 years left, and then 4 years, which is the most recent one. So that was a good one. But anyways, that is the way to beat this. If anyone has been having trouble with it, if you just want to beat all the enemies, or get the most points possible, or just get over the 20,000 points, this definitely works very well for me, anyways. So yeah, give it a go if you're having trouble with it. And yeah, hopefully it was a decent video for you guys. I've not made an Age of Empires 2 video. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing here, you know? So yeah, but that's all for today. If you have any more video ideas that you want to see from this game, or just any other video ideas in general, let me know in the comments down below. And leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you all in the next one.